This is Don Teague in the Fox 26 newsroom. We're interrupting program to bring you a high-speed chase that is underway right now in the Houston area. This is on southbound Lucy, approaching Lauder. This is northeast Harris County. I can tell you that we just became aware of this chase within about the last 10 minutes. We have very little information right now about why authorities are chasing what appears to be a Suburban. Looks like a Suburban, but we know that they have been moving at pretty high speeds according to the things that we've heard on the scanner, and obviously not paying attention to traffic laws, going across the center island there and continuing to elude police. Now, if you look at the rear of that Suburban, it seems to be either smoking or perhaps showing some evidence that it might have a tire out in the rear wheel, and the rear doesn't quite look right of that vehicle as well. But we'll just have to get a closer look as we see. Obviously, the time of day presents a problem. We're talking about afternoon drive time, coming home. A lot of people out on the roads right now. And we saw this vehicle just go through a parking lot at a pretty high speed as well. Actually, that was a gas station. I'm working to get you the very latest as far as the direction. As you've been able to see, this driver is changing roads quite a bit. Oh, it looks like we have a truck trying to, well, the dump truck moved out of the way rather than block the road, and now we see the police right on that suspect's vehicle, but the vehicle not stopping and continuing to move on. This is Isom Road, and they are eastbound. Obviously, it looks like an area of light industry. It looked like a recycling center of some sort there and other sort of storage places. It's best when these things happen in areas outside of, residential neighborhoods, which would certainly be, with the time of day in particular, with kids getting home from school, not what we want to see. Again, we don't know why the police are after the driver of this vehicle, but clearly just in the last few minutes we've seen that whoever's behind the wheel of that Suburban is in no mood to stop, and police are definitely interested in stopping them. Making a right turn here, pretty high speed right turn for that vehicle. Okay, we're told this is southbound now on Aldine Westfield Road. And I'm just trying, along with you, to get an idea what the neighborhood is like and what is coming up for these drivers. We don't actually know which police department is after the driver of this vehicle. If there are several different agencies, it doesn't appear to be state troopers. We would assume it's perhaps HPD, perhaps Sheriff's Department or constables. But I haven't had a good enough look at the vehicles to be able to tell you for sure yet. The driver is certainly being erratic with these moves, which don't really seem to make sense. But of course, if there's a tire issue, if there were spike strips that we didn't see, then perhaps that could have caused what's going on as well. We're on southbound Aldine Westfield now, approaching Marianne, and the speed seems to be high for the road, not incredibly high speed in general. We know that when we first got wind of this, about 3:45 this afternoon, the police were saying this person was moving 55 miles an hour through a 30 or 35 zone. And there's another right turn. And I wish I could tell you if for sure if there's an issue with the vehicle that's causing that swerving left or right, or if the driver is somehow trying to keep police from getting past him or her. We don't know that, but as I mentioned when we first came on the air, it looks that the right rear of that vehicle may have a flat tire, and it didn't quite look like, from the angle when we first started following this, it was trailing not sparks, but just it looked like it was bringing stuff up from the road, which would make you think he's running on a flat. We haven't heard about deployment of any spike strips, and again, we don't know why the authorities are chasing this vehicle at this point. Okay, now we are getting close to the Hardy Toll Road. I'm not sure how this turned through this residential district. You see some mobile homes there. Trying to get an idea. The driver has his arm out the window. We assume it's a man. I still can't see close enough for sure to tell if that's a male or a female. Just based on the size, it looks like it's probably a male driver. And they're still approaching the Hardy Toll Road, so the next question will be whether the driver attempts to get... Okay, looks to be going the wrong direction now. Southbound on Hardy, the access road, and obviously in the northbound lane, so a dangerous situation as this driver continues trying to elude police, and we can just hope that the drivers that are just trying to get home from work right now or pick their kids up from school can see this vehicle coming the wrong way up that road and get out of the way. Yeah, now to a left turn and back onto a road that is both directions. This is Cromwell Road, I'm told. Now going away from the Hardy Toll Road. And the driver has encountered pretty light traffic for the time of day. Obviously, it's a relatively sparsely populated area. At least the roads that he has stayed on have been a mix of light industrial. We've seen some mobile home parks, but it looks like he has been. Now the driver seems to be hanging out the window. And I can't tell what he was doing, if it was just his arm out the window or if he had stuck his head out the window, but certainly causing erratic movement. The police are they're gonna stick with someone like this. This driver has been posing a clear danger to the people around him. Northbound on Exeter, I'm told now, so if you're in that area, if you know somebody who drives in this area, it would be a good idea to give them a call, warn them if they're about to get on the road heading home, that this is happening in the neighborhood. Again, this is Northeast Harris County. We're northbound on Exeter now. This is all relatively close to George Bush Airport, in the neighborhood up there. And now we can see people in their yards coming out to see what's going on the road as this vehicle comes by. Well, it seems pretty clear now that there's an issue with the right rear of that vehicle, probably a tire down, because every time this driver tries to pick up speed is when that wobbling starts. Okay, took a right turn. This is northbound on Hardy. Right along the side of the toll road, assuming this is the access road, and there goes some spike strips. Saw the officer deploy those spike strips, and unclear if he really got them down. They were still sort of crinkled up and hadn't fully deployed when the vehicle ran over a piece of the strip, but it seems to have had some effect, because as this driver tries to pick up speed, he is wobbling more and more. There's an impact now with another driver, that pickup, and I apologize for the loss of the picture. We're going to stick with this, and obviously our chopper is over it, and we would expect to have the pictures back any moment now, and here we are. Okay, we're hearing that the front right tire may also be down now, and that would be from that spike strip deployment that we saw there. And if you saw, it happened really fast, but the officer threw them out there. They like to get them laid completely across the road, but they do it right before the vehicle gets there, so the driver doesn't have time to react. But that certainly was cutting it close, but apparently it's had some impact and is slowing this Suburban down. Okay, they've just passed Birchwood. I'm not sure which street they're on. And apparently we're talking about Imperial and Wedgwood. So they're now eastbound on Wedgwood. We can continue to see that it's a mix of mobile homes and light industry in the area. And, you know, often drivers will return to areas that they know in these circumstances. Perhaps they live there, perhaps it's near where they work. This driver has continually, it appears, stayed in the same neighborhood, which is often an indication that they know that area, feel some sense of comfort. Now we've crashed into a tree. Driver is out and on the run. We can see it's a white male. Appears to have no shirt on and wearing shorts, and police giving chase through a carport and now into a wooded area, so we're going to lose sight of him. There we go, just a flash as he runs through the woods there. Still on the run. They're saying he's in a gray t-shirt, so that's the difference between looking at it on television and in person. Apparently they have him on the ground now. We didn't see what happened, if he tripped or fell or if he was tackled, but the report's coming from the police on the scene now that he is on the ground and being taken into custody. And we can see just right between the two cars there. There we go. We can see the authorities there cuffing him and getting the situation under control. Again, we don't know why police were chasing this driver. We don't know if he was suspected of something or if this began as a traffic stop. There are many reasons these things get underway. We saw that he was clearly posing a danger to the people in that area. And in fact, just probably a minute of driving time before this is when he crashed into that pickup truck as he made a right turn. So we know he caused that much damage, at least to other drivers on the road. But he's now in custody, and the police are going to sort this out. We're just waiting to see if we have a closer shot of this suspect as they pick him up. It may be a while before they do so, but it looks like situation's under control. The driver is off the streets, and that's good for anyone driving in that area or certainly out walking. We're going to return you back to your regular programming, and we'll see you back here in about an hour for the 5 o'clock news.
He's getting money from the state for taking care